We are live, episode 17. Get the facts with Folan. Guys, very excited for today's episode. We are going back to Central America, headed to the one of the most southern parts, right next to Panama. We're headed to Costa Rica. So I've got one of my friends from couchsurfing who is studying Costa Rica. She's been there for a few months, and she's going to give us her perspective on what it's like to get there. So excited to take y'all there. Gonna wait for her to join this call, and then we will head down to Costa Rica. Let's see. Waiting for her. Hope everyone's having a great day. Another beautiful sunny day in Singapore that I cannot get out to see. Perfect, she's in. Let's add her in. Waiting for her to connect. Fingers crossed it works. Let's see. We're going to resend this one. Good morning, everybody. Well, good morning from Singapore. Or good evening if you're back in the United States. Let's see. Waiting for her to accept. Perfect. Should be coming through. It says waiting, connecting.
Hi.
Hey, oh, there we go. How's it going?
Good, good. How are you there?
Good. You know, another day in the life of stay-at-home quarantine. So close, one day closer to fresh air. The weather's been quite nice in Singapore the last 2 weeks. So I'm hoping that it's really nice this weekend when I can finally get my freedom. So yeah, so real quick, introduce yourself, your name, where you are, and yeah, let's dive into it.
Okay, my name is Shou. I'm from China. I'm currently in Costa Rica. I'm in like a very small town that's not very far away from the capital, San Jose. It's like a 40 minutes drive away from San Jose. Yeah. So,
oh, nice.
Yeah, so right now I'm just here because my university is right here. So I'm a student here. I'm studying for 1 year. At the university for a master's degree on international peace studies. Yeah, so basically, and it's been 3 weeks that we already, like the school changed the course into online session. So
yeah,
like it's my 3rd week, stay at home.
Wow. Well, we'll dive into COVID real quick. Just a quick question. How did you pick Costa Rica? Coming from China all the way to Costa Rica, I mean, a very random. Did you throw a dart, on a map? How'd you pick Costa Rica?
Okay, it's actually quite a spontaneous, because I even remember when we met in 2018, yeah. I still didn't have any plan. I think you never heard me talk about coming to Costa Rica or anything, right?
No.
Yeah,
right.
I know, like it's quite spontaneous. It's just like one day I was so bored at my work and I just like check on the internet. I was like, okay, let's see if maybe I could get some other opportunity to study abroad again, because I'm so bored and I want to travel. And I feel like when I started working in Beijing, I feel like kind of trapped a little bit there. Mm-hmm. So I saw this program. It's like a scholarship program.
Oh,
and
nice.
So I'm like, instead of picking Costa Rica as a destination, I actually just like, because the topic I'm very interested in, and it's like a full scholarship program. So it's in Costa Rica. It's like Central America. Like I've never been to this area of the world.
And you're a big traveler as well. You love to travel. Uh-huh.
Yeah, I traveled before. Like I studied in Europe before, in China before, in Africa before. So I've never studied in America. So it's just like, okay, I got this money and I'm going to go. And like, no matter what I can learn, at least I can travel.
Awesome. Yeah. What a great choice. And guys, real quick, background story. When I went through Beijing, she luckily messaged me to host me. And what an amazing host. And it was because we had a mutual couch surfing friend who, one of my hosts in Portugal. So it's amazing. The travel world is so small, and right. No, you truly made my time in Beijing. I couldn't ask for a better host. So it was very quick, fortunately, very cold, but just such a great time. I love that city. It'd be interesting to come back in the summer and see just how hot it gets versus the cold Januaries. So, right. All right. So let's dive into COVID-19 in Costa Rica. What's it been like? You mentioned your classes are online.
Yeah.
I mean, have they closed the borders? You guys aren't in like quarantine in your homes, are you? Like what's going on?
Okay. So basically, my hometown is actually from Hubei province. So my mom lives in Wuhan. So where all the things got crazy. Yeah, my mom and many of my family members.
Dang, how are they doing? They all right?
Yeah, they're all right now. Like it's just like in January, I was like, I was in the mood that like I worried about my family because all of them are in Hubei province and they're like under
Whoa.
very strict lockdown. So
Right.
like, my mom lives in Wuhan, and then at that time she just told me she feels like, oh, it's good that you're not here. So like if you're so far away, so you're safe and all that stuff. So I was just like I didn't have the idea that I was going to experience the same thing as well.
Right.
But I think I remember in February, my mom already like is telling me like whenever she calls me, she tries to tell me that it's also possible your place will be infected as well because this is just spreading so fast. So she's asking me to prepare some masks, prepare just some those supplies just in case if it's happening, then at least I have something to use,
Right.
So then I still remember it's the 6th of March. That's the first confirmed case in Costa Rica.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, first 6th of March. And it's actually like a couple from United States. They traveled to Costa Rica and they were both confirmed as the positive. So
Jeez.
that's when it all started. And right, I kind of feel like the Costa Rican government, they reacted quite fast, I would say, because after 1 week they already telling the schools have to be closed. So until now is the end of this month, it's already our 3rd week to be, all the schools are closed and everything is online, and you are still like you still can travel within the country, but I mean I've never been out of my town, and right now in the little town I live in, there's still no confirmed case. It's the one confirmed case is just like 15 minutes drive away, I would say, nearby. Yeah, but so far like there's no confirmed case. So we still go to supermarket and we still, buy some veggies if needed, but most of the time we're still at home.
Wow, that's wild. Okay, so I have a question. So what did your parents like? How was it with your parents being in Wuhan? Like, I did not realize your family was there. How was that? Like, what they say was like? I mean, we've seen it in the media, right? We've seen photos of it. But was it as intense as the news made it seem?
I mean, I feel like this is like the part that gets tricky because the news, it really depends on what news you're looking at, right?
True,
because,
very true.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so like that's the thing. I'm not sure what the majority, especially in the foreign country, what kind of news they're getting to how they picture the situation. But from my family's perspective,
right.
Of course, they're completely stay indoors for 2 months, entire 2 months, never step out of their house for even a little, and they cannot even walk their dogs. And so like my dad has a dog and he couldn't walk the dog, so he just like let the dog go out and just wait there at the door and then the dog will come back.
No way.
Yeah. So that's the way how they do it. So,
that is how'd they get their groceries? Like, was food delivered?
All the groceries. So I think each community, I don't know if the like national service, they develop this platform so everybody can order food online. Yeah. And so each community, they have people who are responsible for this, and they will just deliver the food or whatever you order to a certain point, and you just go pick it up. So food is not a problem. At the very beginning, I heard that there's like a shortage of supplies, but I think the central government, they reacted quite quickly. So they developed this strategy. Because the main problem is just happening within Hubei province. Like most cities are affected within Hubei province. So like the rest of China, each province is responsible for one city in Hubei province. So that's how they coordinate.
Oh, wow, that's how they did it. Interesting.
Yeah, so each province send their doctors, nurses to that city to assist them. And also on the national level, they will send food supplies to Hubei province to make sure that the price doesn't go up of the food, and everything will be sufficient for people to stay indoors. Yeah, so I would say in that, and my mom, like she's like a teacher in a university, and my dad is retired, so they both get salaries even they do not go to work. But I just feel like the situation would affect more is the people who are doing business. So if you are like an individual business or you have a small company, it's like many, I just heard like many companies just died. They just can't survive for like 3 months without
Literally
working,
nothing.
without,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's one thing I
Wow.
think.
Sorry, I know we're supposed to be focusing on Costa Rica, but this is wild that like your family was in the epicenter of it. Like, what? Last question, and then we'll dive back into Costa Rica.
Okay.
What is your family saying life is like now? Is Wuhan slowly reopening? Like, is
Um,
life slowly getting back to normal there?
yeah, everything's back to normal now. Like, of course, Wuhan is still like slowly going back to normal. They are allowed to go out now.
Yeah.
But I think the majority of China are already like completely normal now. They go to work, they go,
Yeah.
yeah, everything is normal now. It's just like there's, but because it's been how long? I think it's been over 10 days. There's no new infected people within China
Wow.
anymore, and all the new infected people are coming from abroad. That's why I think 2 days ago China had this new policy that they do not accept foreigners to enter the country anymore, just
Yeah.
for this
Yeah.
short period, because they're just this high new infected people coming to the country that
Start a
just,
second wave.
yeah,
Right,
yeah,
right. Wow, I'm so glad your family's okay. Glad they're
yeah.
doing well. That is, I did not remember that, you're originally from there. I always associate you with Beijing. Wow, that's wild. All right, so let's dive back into Costa Rica. So you've been there. You've been there for a while now, and I remember when you first accepted, I was so excited because Costa Rica is a gem of Central America. Each of these countries have something very unique to offer. So, in your opinion, what have been your top three spots as you've made your way across Costa Rica?
Mm-hmm. Okay. I like before I came to Costa Rica, of course, I've heard so many nice things. You know, when you tell people you're going to Costa Rica and they're like, oh, it's a paradise, it's so much nature and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like for me personally, I've traveled to, so basically the main things about Costa Rica, there are many volcanoes. I think there are over 100 volcanoes all around the country, and there are many waterfalls, rainforests, and natural hot spring, and beaches, of course, in the Caribbean side and the Pacific side. But yeah, so yeah, somebody mentioned that. Yeah, that's the one thing I was going to say. Arena volcano. Yeah, that's the like very first place I went when I arrived in Costa Rica. It's in kind of like in the north part of the country, and the town is called La Fortuna, where you're going. So you arrive in La Fortuna. The Arena volcano is just right in front of you. Basically, it's like
It's so
big.
good. That is like what the Eiffel Tower is to Paris, right?
Yeah.
You see the volcano from everywhere. It's so nice.
Yeah. You see the volcano from everywhere, and it's very beautiful. And then they have like this natural hot spring there, and there is also like a very beautiful hike, just like a not very long drive in the north part of Arena volcano. So it's like a very good place for like a 3 days or 4 days trip just to chill and see the view. And yeah, so that's definitely the number one I would like to recommend.
And real quick travel tip, guys. So the hot springs are very well known. There are a lot of hot spring hot spring spas that they all use the same water. Okay, and some of these places are going to charge you $100, $150 a day. When you get to the city, you drive down the road bend. So you drive past all the spas. There's a dip in the road. At the bottom, there's a fence that's been cut open by the locals. It is fine. And you can use the exact same water for free. So there is a free way to do the hot springs when you get to this city if you're on a budget. So it can be expensive if you want to do the spas. If you want to blow some cash, go for it. But if you want to still experience the nice hot springs at literally a zero cost free ticket, that's the way to do it. So, but I definitely recommend it as well. Very good first city. All right, what's next? What's next on the list?
So the next would be in the south, the Manuel Antonio National Park. Yeah.
Yes.
So I think that's just like a place that you get everything at the same time, and it's like everything's beautiful. You can it's like a national park. It's like a huge rainforest. You can just walk in the forest, and then they're just right next to the beach as well. Yeah. So you can get seafood there, and you can just it's just, and a lot of wild animals there as well. If you just go through the park, you're gonna see monkeys, sloth, and many other birds, lots of birds as well. So it's a very nice place.
It's so good. It's very similar to have you done much of Colombia yet? There's a spot called Tirona National Park. It reminded me so much of it. Less hiking, I mean, it's, you know, a good less than an hour hike in. You get to the beach, it opens up. So you've got the rainforest, you've got the beaches, and a ton of wildlife. That was that's my number one spot in Costa Rica. I loved it. And that's the spot to do the night walk because the rainforest really comes to life at night. There's so much more wildlife. So definitely worth doing when you get there. So.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. And number
Yeah.
three on
Number
the list.
three.
Rica.
Number three is a place I've never been and I've always wanted to go. It's in the Caribbean side. It's like I think everybody goes there. It's called Puerto Viejo. Puerto
Okay.
Viejo. Yeah. So it's like Limon, and it's like right in the Caribbean side. I just like I don't know. I just feel like I've heard so much from people about it. Like even though I've never been there, but you definitely want to go there because that's the Caribbean side. I think the culture and the food, there are some differences from the Pacific side. And so you kind of experience a different culture there. And like many of my classmates, they just go there every weekend. Like they take a bus, just go there.
No
like,
way. Yeah.
Yeah. So they just like go there every other weekend. And I feel like I almost went and like one weekend before, and but I just had a deadline, and then I was like, oh, I'm gonna go during the Easter break, and now I can't anymore because of this.
Oh no!
I
Dang
know.
it.
So I feel like it's gonna be a shame if I have to leave this country without going there. So
Yeah, fingers crossed everything opens back up before you leave, so you can see. We did not make it there. That someone commented. There's one other city that I'd definitely recommend is Montverde, which is one of the only cloud forests in the world. And we've heard there was a stat I need to confirm, but it's home to like 1% of all living things in the world, which is pretty wild. So of course it's famous for the Quetzal bird, which is the national bird of Guatemala. But there's more in Costa Rica, which are these beautiful, you know, iridescent colored, you know, greenish blue birds with, you know, 1 meter to, you know, 1.5 meter long tails. So, you know, just over 3 feet. So there's very, very good wildlife in Costa Rica. I think that's, you know, one of the spots that you will find the most, especially in Manuel Antonio. So great, yeah. You great 3 spots for someone that as an expat, as a, you know, as a student. You've seen quite a bit already. What would you, food-wise, what have you noted? What have been some of your favorite local dishes?
well, it's really hard to say because I feel like the food here compared with Chinese food, we just have so much diversity regarding food. And also like I kind of have this heavy taste. I'm from Hubei province. I like spicy food and all that. So here it's like the food here is just like, for me, it doesn't taste that much. It's more like very plain. It's not spicy. But like definitely like when you get here, there is like gallo pinto, where you just like cook the rice with the black beans together. That's like one of their typical main dish, I think.
Yes.
And you get there from your cafeteria all the time. So when you're here, you're definitely gonna just keep having it, I guess. And except for that, they have this typical like a main dish when you go to a restaurant. It's called casado. So it's like a combination of rice, beans, plantas, salad, or you can choose pork or chicken or fish, or if you're vegetarian, you can choose cheese or something. So it's like, yeah, it's like a combination of lots of things together.
Yeah.
So that would be like 2 main food I would recommend. Like I don't even need to recommend, as long as you're here, you're just like, you know, you're
right. And it is pretty simple, right? There's not like, I mean, I'm sure that there are high-end restaurants you can get to, but rice and beans, it seems to be, you know, pretty the trademark of Central America. Chicken, rice, and beans. You can never go wrong. And each country has their, I mean, they do have variations of it, which is nice. But it's good for the simple palate. Oh, yeah, so Pura Vida. Absolutely. That's the for Costa Rica. All right, so let's dive into, you came in, right, as a student. What stereotypes did you have coming in that have proved to be true, proved to be false from your perspective?
Yeah, so because I've never come to this part of the world, and in my dream or in my, you know, imagination, I always had this idea, all the Latin American people, they are so energetic, and they're always like, you know, they love dancing, they love music, and they're like just their personalities are very outgoing. That was the stereotype I had for like Latin American people, basically. But since I came, I found, like, I realized that people here are actually very shy. Like, I think I recognize this between, definitely they are very different from Colombian people from Colombia.
Yeah.
because I just feel like Colombia is like that typical stereotype that match with the people that they really have that personality. But here, people are just, in general, I would say, pretty shy, and
Uh-huh.
they wouldn't really talk with you, engage with you if you are not really talking to them. So I think that's like and I've never seen like in the bar here, for instance, I don't see them dancing much as I thought it would be. Yeah, so people are
Yeah,
just
yeah.
like
Interesting.
drinking quietly, just like enjoying a drink. Like even though the music they listen to are still very Latin American, you know, those kind of music, but
Yeah.
still I feel like it's yeah, it's not as like energetic as I thought it would be.
Interesting. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. Huh. Because yeah, it's. I'm trying to think back. We didn't. I mean, we were in nature so much, so we really didn't see much of the nightlife in Costa Rica. We went through San Jose for one night, but Costa Rica, yeah, is definitely known for its wildlife versus the. I don't know. I mean, I've said this in other episodes. Central America is known for the best parties. You know, Central and South America, the best party in the world. But yeah, interesting that perspective of Costa Rica.
Yeah.
We'll see. Maybe a local Costa Rican will watch this someday and tell us otherwise. But you know,
Right.
that's how it's been for you. So, what's been your favorite thing so far about living in Costa Rica?
I think it's about the nature. Like, you know, even right now, even I'm quarantined because my campus is like up in the mountain. So
Hmm.
the town I'm living in, and I need to go into the mountains for 7 kilometers to arrive at my campus. So in the morning there's just no people on the road. So even I'm quarantined, I can still run up to my campus and run back at 5 o'clock in the morning, and you basically just go into forest, you know, the nature and so many trees and coffee plantations and flowers. Just yeah, just very very nice to get this nature all the time
Yeah,
everywhere. It's a very green country.
that's
Because I remember when I was in Beijing, I also like hiking and going into the nature, but like I have to, you know, take a bus for two or
right.
three hours to
Yeah,
get, you
exactly.
know, and
Exactly. Yeah, versus you
then
literally
go for a hike. Yeah,
step out
so
of your
it's like,
door and yeah,
uh-huh.
yeah.
Definitely this is something I'm gonna miss when I go back to my country, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, gosh, it's such good wildlife. There's so much, and like you said, it's such a green country. I loved it. All right, let's do one more question because I know you got class coming up soon. What's one fact, something that you've learned about Costa Rica that would surprise people? Anything come to mind?
One fact about Costa Rica,
Or just one thing that's been surprising?
I guess, is like nothing really surprising. It's
That's
the
okay.
thing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because this just remind me of when I first traveled here. I had a tour guide. So at that time, I was like so eager to learn what is Costa Rica, what is everything about. So like I asked him, so what kind of music do you listen to? Do you have like popular singers that I could go search and to get some idea of Costa Rica? And then he's like, no, we just listen to music from Colombia. And then I was like, do you have any movies you could recommend? And then he's like, no, we just watch movies from Mexico. And then so basically, and I was like, so what kind of food? Like, do you have food you could recommend? And then he's like, oh, I think the food from Peru is so much better. So it's like so, and then I was like,
Really
so
selling
guys,
you on Costa Rica.
yeah, so I was like, so what do you have then? And then he's like, yeah, we have volcanoes, we have rainforest, we have waterfalls, so that's all we have. Yeah, so I guess that's the thing.
So yeah, Costa Rica known for its nature. Guys, one fun fact. So if you haven't realized, I'm a huge animal fan. Steve Irwin is an absolute legend. He was one of my heroes growing up. Still is. That guy is absolutely legendary. The crocodile hunter from Australia. And Costa Rica, I specifically went to Costa Rica to find the red-eyed tree frog. It's the only country in the world that has it, and they are stunning. They are nocturnal. They come out at night, but they are the greenest and blue and golds. But then these eyes of the tree frog are bright red. And so if you love animals, you love some cool-looking animals. definitely find the red-eye tree frogs. Do a night walk when you get to Costa Rica, especially in Manuel Antonio. That's your best chance to find one, because they are some beautiful, beautiful frogs, beautiful animals. I love it. All right. Well, you have been amazing. Geez, it is blowing my mind that your parents live in Wuhan. I had no idea. I totally forgot that. But the stage is yours. Final words, because the whole world is watching. What would you like to say?
Well, I stay at home. Let's like stop this virus very, very soon so we can go travel again. I feel like that's the thing I miss the most. I feel like I took that for granted for so long that I'm just able to travel, you know, I just able to go somewhere. And I feel like especially what my parents have experienced in China, in Wuhan particularly, and how everybody, you know, I just feel like everybody there, they know their responsibility, and they know, I mean, they're scared, of course, and they know the danger of this, and they want to protect the elderly because they know there is a high rate of death for elderly people. So like everything all come together. They know that their responsibility is to stay at home. That's the only way we can cut the virus and we like stop spreading it. So even now, Costa Rica, I go out, I wear masks, but most people, like nobody else is wearing masks still. Like even though there are already over 300 confirmed cases all over the country. So, I mean, like people argue that there is a culture difference, then people value different things. Like people feel like it's my freedom to do whatever. But I just feel like at this stage, like maybe we could just care for each other a little bit more so we can just end this thing very soon, like sooner. I just feel like if everybody, like if the world freeze for 20 days, I feel like this will be gone, because then people who are affected will be already affected. People who are not will not get affected, you know, and then within 1 month, everything will be back to normal. But definitely that needs a cooperation. So I guess that's the thing I want to say because of
perfect. Nailed it. Yeah. The sooner we get through this, the better, because travelers like you and I, we're ready to see more of the world. And until we beat this virus, everything will be put on hold. But thank you so much. I appreciate the time. I know we'll get to work. We're going to make you get to class. Perfect timing.
No problem. Yeah.
But guys, thank you so much for watching. We've got some fun episodes coming up tomorrow in the United States. First thing in the morning, we've got Jen, who is currently in Paris, France. And then in the evening, we will go to Canada and talk to one of my friends, Sierra. So looking forward to chatting with them. Again, thank you so much for the time. Enjoy the rest of your time in Costa Rica. Fingers crossed you're able to take a couple more weekend trips to explore that beautiful country. But until then, take care. And looking forward, we'll have a reunion again one of these days. It'll happen. No doubt in my mind. We'll cross paths again. So stay safe, stay at home, wash your hands. And guys, let's get through this together. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye-bye.